Ooh, webcam decided it didn't want to work anymore. That's interesting. I wonder if you guys get the side profile face. Don't know really what exactly is going on there. But good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Where is my mouse? Where did it go?
I'm back.
Mouse! Where are you? There you are. So webcam decided it wanted to, I don't really know what it's doing. It decided it didn't want to do anything. Decided you guys wanted to see my side profile. But again, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to try and work in getting the webcam fixed. And guys, Chappie, no! Moltar actually saw and watched Iron Eagle. It happened.
There you go.
I watched it a couple days ago, and I actually enjoyed it. It was, you guys were all like, "Oh, the movie's terrible," and it was not very good, but I enjoyed it for what it was, even though the MiG-23s were not, in fact, MiG-23s, but F-21s. It's a little weird, but, it is what it is.
Yeah, what about those Hades bombs? When are we getting those in DCS?
Oh, the Hades bombs, man. That was impressive. It just looked like a Mark 82, a red Mark 82 on the bottom. So it was probably a training munition.
There's a blogger, I think from the Warzone, from the Drive, who does a breakdown of every single shot he does and how many missiles he actually fires versus how many are on the plane. It's a pretty epic blog post. I must admit, it's well worth reading once you watch it.
I mean, it's obviously this is the movie that Ace Combat was based on.
Right? Was it really? Interesting.
No, I don't know. I'm just making shit up.
I was like, what?
I'm just making crap up. I don't know what you're talking about. The webcam deciding it doesn't want to play very nicely. But guys, we've got a couple matches today. The guys are taxiing, so RVE versus Chinese Festival to get everything started. And then the second match of the day is going to be Viper Squadron versus War Dogs. So the Viper Squadron versus War Dogs match is actually going on at the same time that we are right now. So we're going to stream it from a track, but you guys won't know any difference. So we got RVE versus Chinese Festival going on right now. The next match is going to be Viper Squadron versus War Dogs. So that's coming up. But these guys are already getting ready to taxi. Well, they're already taxiing. So let's jump into the pit, see how these things are going on. And something to shout out here real quick is I fixed the stream delays on the dedicated pilot cams. So everything should be in sync now. Everything's 30-second delay, 30 seconds or a minute. So you guys should be able to watch both, and they should be all synced up now. Right now we're watching RVE. We're gonna watch RVE depart, and then next time we're gonna watch Chinese Festival. So let's jump into the pit, see how these guys are gonna get on. I gotta change the team titles and their logos, but let's jump in, see how they're going to get on. And Billy, while I'm doing all that, tell me how you think this is going to go. I mean, I think RVE won the last round that they flew in. So give me your forecast on how you think today's match is going to go.
I'm struggling to find the server. Did you send me the credentials for that?
Yeah, I can in a minute. Do some stuff here.
Sure. Well, yeah. I mean, I think what we saw out of RVE recently was pretty good stuff. I think we know that Chinese Festival tends to be a bit more, I'd say, organized with their. You could say they have pretty good composure as far as holding their formations and sticking to their game plan. So, curious how RVE is going to kind of approach this today. Do they kind of come right at them out the gate, get in there and kind of break up that grinder and disrupt what they have going on? Or do you take a slower approach, to a team like CNF and kind of, work around that formation and what they have and maybe try to push in on the flanks on them?
Yeah, I don't know. What we've typically seen, what we've seen from both these teams, Chinese Festival flies delayed. They're very patient. RVE is more aggressive when it comes to all of this. So, yeah. Are they going to stick to their typical game plan, or are they going to be way more aggressive today? I don't know. We'll just have to see how this is. What teams show up today and what tactics they actually bring to the table. me see if Chinese Festival ready. Now, one thing we should note is that RVE is flying a pilot down. They only have 5. Chinese Festival has 6. Looks like their flanker man isn't here today, so we'll have to see if that poses an issue. But they're all NATO aircraft. 4 F-15s, Singleton F-18, and then CNF is 2 F-15s and 4 flankers. So that's kind of unusual. So just waiting on these guys to get ready. I got to get the all clear from Chinese Festival before we get this round on the way, just to make sure that both teams are getting going. Carter 510, just a heads up, we start the match at the same time, so I'll give the fights on, and then these guys take off, so everybody's taking off at the same time. I don't know what's going on with Chinese Festival. Are they done taxiing?
I still can't. I'm not on the server yet, so I can only see what you're seeing on the stream.
There you go.
Thank you.
All right, so Chinese Festival says they're ready. So let's get this fight on. So fight's on. There's the go, 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 or as Mover would say, fight, son. It's just fights on today. So again, RVE versus Chinese Festival, and this is a big match. Chinese Festival and RVE are ranked right next to one another in the standings. This is a big-time matchup for how the playoff picture is going to shape up. Bullet making it hail already today, drops a bit, and then I think he dropped another bit. So already throwing pennies at me on the stage. Bullet, the pennies hurt, man. I go upstairs and my wife's always like, why do you have all these welts all over? And I gotta say, it's Bullet making it hail on me.
All right, looking good now.
Did you get in?
Yep, good to go. So, and what did you say the breakdown of the fighters were? Was it mostly flankers? I thought I heard you saying.
It's mainly flankers coming for CNF and
It looks like 15.
NATO aircraft for RVE.
Yep, looking like 4 15s and 1 18. We're still short one on RVE, right?
Yeah, it's 5v6.
Oh, it's they don't have a 6 guy. I missed that. So.
No.
Well, we've seen that, was that 2 weeks in a row now where that's been the case for teams. And I think, if my memory serves me, it was it Tall last week, or was it, I don't remember who it was, but somebody had a man down, I think, for at least one round and still was able to do some pretty decent stuff, just, with that being said.
No, Tall was against 50 first last week. And
That's right.
66.
That's right. Maybe it was the match the week before that, I think, was the one where they had to fly a man down. It was only one round, though. My memory says they got somebody in by the 2nd or 3rd round. Now, the mountains, my estimate, may not play that big of a role here, but certainly things could fall into that area with where these teams are lining up. Actually, no, my apologies. I thought RVE was coming from a more southern airport, but where they are, this is going to be mostly flat.
Yeah, they're coming out of Bodie.
Yep, this should be a good fight with that being said, especially with both of these two teams.
With this number of flankers, we'll just have to see how it plays out. I think this map suits CNF very well. I mean, their patient gameplay and their ability to maintain SA with no mountains. I think this is going to suit them really well. Steve099 or Steve099, thank you for the subs. Been back for 6 months. Much appreciated, guys. And all the new followers, hopefully you enjoy the show. For anybody that's new, let me give you guys the rundown on how this works. This is SATAL Squadron Air-to-Air League. It is a league, and this is Diamond League, so it is 6v6. Somebody was wondering why and saying that FC3 is boring to watch. Well, FC3 is still the most effective out there, just because they're the only air supremacy fighters that are out there. I mean, hopefully one day we will get.
I'll ask.
Go ahead.
I'll ask this question: Is it how? I'm curious how it's boring to watch. How, other than the fact that you know that they're maybe not pressing as many buttons in the cockpit there. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm curious how that really affects the view on that. I mean, trust me, I'm not a big FC3 guy. I'm not a huge fan. I get, the implication and how it works into what we do here, absolutely. But I'm not sure how it affects the end view at the, from the person watching at home.
Well, it may just be their first time in SATAL. I don't know. But I
Yeah,
think it's
fair.
They're all equally as exciting to watch.
Yep.
I don't
I'd say
think it
that
really
much.
matters, but it is what it is. Shuckle Guys, he says, why no Fokkers? Oh, wait. We have Moltar, and he's a Fokker. Well, I am what I am, and I embrace it wholeheartedly. Shuckle Guys. So it is what it is. But Navy Doc dropping the $3 donation. Much appreciated, brother. That goes straight into the war chest and making this stream better. So much appreciated. Let's jump back into watching these guys ingress.
Well,
but any predictions, Billy, on how this is going to go? I'm going to give it to Chinese Festival specifically because they got an extra pilot. If they stick to their game plan and if they're able to maintain their shape. Now, if they break down, RVE has some damn good fucking pilots. I mean, we have seen Daxter just go mother trucking off. So I think if Daxter has a good game, if Daxter has a couple good sorties, he could very well single-handedly shape how this match plays out. We talk about this every time we see him fly, but Daxter routinely gets like 3 and 4 kill sorties, which is
there's no doubt RVE one of the more entertaining teams to watch in this whole league, and they tend to have fireworks going off when they are up there. So curious to see what CNF has planned here. This lone, right? If I say the lone 707 back to the rear is an interesting move. I'm not sure if we've addressed that yet. That seems a little out of the norm for them.
This is what Billy's talking about down here. Billy is what I think may be happening is CNF 707 may be just taking an offset and coming down towards the mountain. So if you guys aren't familiar with how this area is laid out, it's Krasnodar versus Vodi. Lots and lots of flat land. So lots of just nothing. But to the south, you've got foothills. So if we can grab this, let me see if I can see this. So you've got nothing out here, farmland, blah, 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 nothing going on. And then if you look out here, you've got these foothills. And if you go further to the south, you do have mountains. And where the bubble is shaping up, and if you guys, again, aren't familiar with how SATAL is set up, you have this bubble. Once you enter the bubble, you can't leave. If you leave, you can't re-enter. And if you do re-enter after leaving, you die. And this just forces engagements. And next year, we're probably going to make the bubble small because it's a little too big. But you can see that the bubble does get down to the mountains. So you can get to the mountains, but a lot of times we see the teams just fly right over Bullseye. And a big reason that they do that is because Bullseye is very flat land. And when you're in these 6v6 and 4v4 engagements, you want to not have that, the mountains that disrupt your situational awareness, and you can break line of sight with your wingman and all that stuff. So you want the flat land. You'll see that time and time again from all these teams, that flat land and open ground. And a lot of time with like when you fly on the coast or in Persian Gulf, you see a lot of the teams fly over the water because, again, better situational awareness. You can see your enemies better. You've got more room to maneuver, so on and so forth. So that's what we see routinely here in SATAL. And quick shout out to Apocalyptosaur gifting a sub to Gene Robin. Thank you very much, brother. Much appreciated. Welcome, Gene Robin. Then Foxtrot Alpha is back for his 2nd month in a row. He's got 3 months under his belt with the Tier 1. Welcome back, Foxtrot Alpha. Hopefully you're enjoying your stay. But let's see how these guys are getting going. It looks like Chinese Festival is breaking up, and what I'm going to assume is they're patenting 3-ship wall separation. I don't know what's going on with 707, Billy. He's just back here by
It's-
himself.
It seems like we got something a little bit different. I mean, you as you're just kind of describing, that first 5, they're doing almost to the T what we're used to seeing CNF do here. But the 707 plane, however, back off by itself, offset to the southwest, there is certainly not something we're used to seeing out of that. Now, he may very well end up in position here as they begin to spread out, but at the moment, I'm curious what they're trying to pull off. Now, these two, the RVE being down a man here, the tactics are much more important for them here, how they play this to not put themselves in a dangerous 2-on-1 situation, so that they're going to do what they can to prevent themselves from really falling too deep here. I think, with that being said, they can't run that aggressive style that I had mentioned before, coming in and trying to disrupt what CNF is doing here. They kind of have to get the lay of the land here, and like I said, just not get too deep, because getting too deep is going to make this thing over real quick.
What I want to see RVE do is I want to see RVE pick their engagements to, commit on the 1v1s or commit onto the 2v1s, so on and so forth, so they can try and even this out. Apocalyptosaur, I have no idea. And in all honesty, it really doesn't matter. I'm not in this for views or subs or any of that stuff. I'm in this to just provide you guys some entertaining competitive DCS action and to give the community something to go on. So that everybody's getting closer together. We are 31 nautical miles apart. And real quick, if you guys look at what G.I. Joe linked, you have a command !multicam, and the multicams are dedicated pilot cams. Right now we're following RVE's Daxter, Cover Now, and Tito, and these guys are getting ready to launch. Separation between the two teams is 30 nautical miles. Tito leading it in against 801. And let's change this music and jump into the action as missiles are coming off the rails. First missile being launched by CNF's 801. It was a ER coming in. I think it's on Tito. Tito gets that warning, split S's, and gets the hell out of Dodge. He's still got his tanks on site. I'm assuming he's still got some gas left in those canisters.
It looks like Cover Now puts a 120 out towards, is that 505 or 4? I think it's 505.
I think he's got one
definitely
on 505
a long shot.
and one on 405. And then CNF's 505 puts an ER out on Snowman. Snowman responds with a 120 of his own. He's over Mach 1, begins to split S and breaks away as he gets the missile warning from that ER. So that missile's going to be done, bamboozled, and trashed, I think. Yeah, 505 breaks away and that missile's unsupported, so that's not going to be an issue at all. Apocalyptosaur, this feature's been going on for a couple weeks now, maybe over a month. So it is nice. Big shout outs to everybody that donated to make this happen. It is pretty awesome. I really enjoy the.
You've been feeding the fat man over there?
Fat Man has been good. I actually owe Fat Man some money for what he sent me. I gotta pay him for shipping. I have not forgotten about you, Fat Man. You have not been
I was talking
forgotten.
about the Fat Man cluster, as we were referring to it, right?
I haven't added anything to it recently. There's some stuff coming. I gotta add another workstation to it. But
nice. Back
to the action. Tito put a 120B out on 101. That's from 10 nautical miles. So now 101's in a bit of a tight spot. He's got 3 tanks on. He's got bandits coming from multiple directions. And that 120 is not going to have the energy to be able to run him down. ET coming in on Daxter. That's not going to be able to chase him down. So 101 is now running away from that 120. It's pretty far back there, so it's not going to be a factor. It's out of energy. It's still about a mile behind him, so that's not going to cause any issue.
I like what 801 is doing here. It seems like he's creeping further southeast and really starting to kind of come up underneath them here. Starting to almost close in around them. If 505 were to continue pushing maybe a little bit more due south, I believe, or due east, they could really start to close in around these guys here. RVE really needs to try to pick one of these guys off here quick and level this thing. Otherwise,
what
this
801 needs to be careful about is if he does creep like that and creep in on the south, that he's isolating himself. And if RVE catches wind of his position, they can pounce on him and take him out. And that's exactly what RVE is going to be looking for. And if we ride along with 405, as he ingresses here, he's getting a little separated from the rest of everybody. And while we've got a little bit of a lull, well, I guess we don't really have a lull. We'll talk about it here in a second. Tito and Snowman are putting 120s out on 405. 405 immediately split S's. There's the missile coming in from the top. I don't think that's going to be able to chase him down. I think he's going to be fine getting away from that. He's over Mach 1 split S'ing and running away. He's still got his lights on, which could cause some problems. Makes you a little bit easier to spot. But those 120s aren't going to be able to run him down. And Snowman, there's the missile. There it is. Oh, just ran out of juice. Just ran out of juice as it was trying to come and sniff up his tailpipe, and it just barely didn't have the legs to reach out and touch him. That's a bit unfortunate. But what it does mean is that RVE still has all 5 of their pilots, and Tito's getting a little bit deep, coming in on 101, and 101 may be in trouble. That 120B has got some get up and go, and I think it's going to be able to take him out.
Tito needs to get out there. He's got a 2070 ER closing in on his rear, but I don't know if that's going to have the mustard to get to him. He's putting another 120 out on 505.
No, Tito, don't split us!
Dude,
where are you going?
He doesn't know it's there. He doesn't know it's there.
No, he has to know it's there. He has to know it's there.
Oh,
and he gets taken down.
Slow, but another the other one. Oh, and he split S's again. Oh, but then he's into the ground, it looks like.
Yeah, and Daxter actually got taken down. That's unfortunate.
He got caught in a bad spot there.
2 guys got taken down for RVE there in real close succession, and Tito wasn't going to be able to make it out of that split S regardless of what happened. And now it's cover now is getting pressed by multiple ETs coming up from his right, and I think he's going to be fine. But Daxter, he had a rough first go of it. So now we're down to a 5v3. I think is what's going on now. Let me double check. Yeah, 5 for CNF, 3 for RVE. Now, RVE still has plenty of munitions left, but they just need to isolate. I don't know what happened to Daxter there. Maybe you guys can enlighten us on the dedicated cams. You guys probably saw what ended up happening. I think Daxter just got in a bit too deep against his target. What he should have done is bag and dragged and, gotten the attention of 101 and then allowed Tito to take him down, but he just got in a bit too deep and traded with 101 is my assumption of what ended up going down there.
Being down a man is so important. You turn cold earlier than you probably would normally, just to prevent the separation from, there was a lot of separation between the other those two there. There wasn't really anyone who was able to commit quick enough to come in and kind of help those two there. So yeah, the man advantage out the gate really forces you into a totally different style of play that isn't very glamorous or fun at the end of the day.
What it looks like between Tito and Daxter was just kind of a lack of communication. Like I said, the bag and drag could have been very effective. Where Daxter really sorted, should have just turned around, and Tito could have taken him out. Tito. Yeah, Apocalyptic Sword, that's probably what happened. He probably did black out. That's a really good estimation of what ended up going down.
Yeah.
But Tito really didn't need to split S in that situation. He would have been fine just carrying on, and he would have been able to outrun that ER as it was coming in.
I think that what happened there is he turned to the northwest to evade that missile from the head and put himself in a pretty bad situation with the missile coming at him from the rear. Not that it had the energy, but at that point, I just don't know if he had the momentum he needed to kind of pull himself out of that. If he had turned more to the south there, I think he would have been in a little bit better position to get out of that whole situation. At least from the way it looked up top.
Barely getting away from that ER.
Oof,
Watched it come in on him, and now he's got another one coming in. We can see it sniffing. It's sniffing. God, cover now is just getting dangerously close to these missiles as they sniff at his exhaust fumes. And, I mean, close. But he's making CNF waste munitions. 120 coming out on Snowman. Snowman's already cold. That's not going to be any factor. And RVE playing it decently well, but now Cover Now's got a 77 coming in on him, and he doesn't know it's coming yet. He's in a turn, probably not getting the missile warning, and he gets popped by an incoming 77. And that's one of the dangers of recommitting on a bandit that's decently close, is you're not going to get that missile warning when you're in a bank like that. And I'm assuming that's what happened to Cover Now, and he just gets smashed by a 77. So now we're down to a 2v5. Snowman and Arctander, the only guys remaining, F18 and F15 for RVE, 707, 505, 405, 801, and 307 remaining for CNF. And I don't know about you, Billy, but I'm going to give this one to CNF, seeing as they're at a 3-minute advantage.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say that they did a very good job. This is, and I'd like to point out, this is a very traditional Diamond League match from almost every aspect of it, which was interesting too. This was well played by CNF. They came out, held their formation very well, stayed in position almost the entire match. I didn't really see a lot of a lot of mistakes made by CNF so far throughout the match. Now, granted, Arctander turning around here on 707 is 505, going to pick up on that and back up his buddy here. There's no terrain to hide behind. I think has really helped out CNF. They seem to just be hunting these guys down with relative ease. But now we got to merge here.
Arctander, you got to flare more than that to be able to do anything, and they end up trading. So we're down to a 1v4. But Arctander, in those particular situations, guys, you got to pre-flare. You've got to be dumping the flares before you get into the engagement to make sure that the missile's going to go after them instead of you. Because when you get it close enough, the flares just aren't going to matter. Unless you dump an astronomical amount of them.
I think the pre-flaring in DCS is like a sixth sense slowly load over time. Like you slowly realize, like, I need to start now, because there's like, you get hit enough times with those missiles in that situation. You start to get that sixth sense of, okay, I'm about to be going into the danger zone here. I need to get the flares out before I get in there.
So we're down to a 1v4. Snowman is the only guy remaining for RVE. We can see one of the CNF guys egressing down there with his flares. Actually, he's still hot against Snowman. In my opinion, in this particular matchup, in this round, RVE just didn't pick their engagements well enough. And that double kill when Tito and Daxter died at the same time, that was rough.
I would tend to agree with that. I think that really one fatal error there. Those two not pulling back and folding it in that situation and heading back with the other three to the east, sticking in there and then hanging on as long as they did. I think may have made that as bad as it seemed in the moment.
Guys, that has changed the multicams to some actual flying pilots, so you guys can see what's going on. We got Snowman 801 and 307 going on right now. And Snowman, I guess, is just trying to build some space, but unfortunately in this flat land, you're not going to have anywhere to go.
Yeah, no, this is a tough situation for Snowman. You can run, you can drag this whole thing out, maybe force some stupid decisions on CNF and cost them a plane, maybe two if you're really lucky, but he's still going to have to fight at least one or two of these guys at the end of the day. Probably all four. So
he only has 8 mines.
Oof. Yeah. It's like a pack of hyenas chasing down a wounded animal right now.
Yeah. Not really wounded. They're just
But
going to run out of energy, though.
Yeah. He's tired.
We can see the missiles coming from high altitude down below flying Snowman. If he maintains, those are going to cause some problems. They're coming in on him. See him getting closer. Na-na. Still getting closer.
Right over the top.
God, they detonated right behind him. Like, close enough that those could have caused some damage just from how close they were hitting the ground.
Splash back there. There it is. Yeah, please not get away from. Well,
And that was,
Valiant
I think,
effort down.
Snowman. Yeah, but I think that was more of Snowman just realizing I can't go anywhere and I can't.
Yeah.
I got nothing I can do.
The old checkmate situation, if you will.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, valiant
Man.
effort from RVE being down a man. That's
They
for
did.
sure. We've seen teams lay down in that situation before, and I would not say they did that there. They certainly fought their way through that whole match. So
but the downfall for RVE in that situation was the early deaths by Tito and Dexter.
that
was
hurt.
unfortunate.
And I think RVE is certainly a team we've seen come out and really turn things around mid-match in between rounds. So, I wouldn't, just that being down a pilot, I wouldn't necessarily say continue to count them out here. Very well easily could see them come out in the second round here and do something big. So, curious how they're going to approach this with all that being said.
Urutara, man, the Invincible 405, I think, flies for InSky. So, not Chinese Festival. G.I. Joe, thank you. I don't know what you guys enjoy more. Do you enjoy the no commentary versions, or do you like the commentary more for those highlight videos? But I gotta make a shout out to Growling Sidewinder. He's the guy that's actually doing the cuts, and then I'm formatting everything into music, and he just gives me some decent shots, and I'm cutting things up.
Love his stuff.
Yeah, he does decent work.
It does, definitely does.
So Billy, what are your impressions while we watch these guys RTB about the patch? Well, no, this was a different question about the patch that got released on Wednesday or Thursday.
I got into this. Obviously, there was also a Tarkov patch this week, and for the first time in a long time, I dove back into that pretty heavily this week. But I did get probably about 5 hours of flying on this new patch. And there was some stuff that just seemed a little weird. The INS for the F-16 seems pretty nice. I didn't really have any problems with that once I figured out the proper process to aligning and all that stuff. The Hornet, I want to say, no, it was the 16 I felt was having a little bit, the radar was acting weird for me. I don't know if it was just me being, just struggling with it for whatever X or Y reason, or whether something was up with that, or that may have been the server file. I really didn't get a chance to dive too deep into that and how that was kind of behaving for me. But for the most part, everything seemed pretty decent. I finally got a chance to use the walleye, which is fun, but just really would rather have a slammer. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. That stuff's coming. Just hoping to see TWS soon. That's all.
Yeah, I've been having some interesting luck with the radar on the F-18 where it's dropping lock all the time and going to memory mode. And
I've seen that, yeah.
Maybe that's what it's supposed to do, but whatever. I'm still, it's fine. Something I didn't notice, though, jumping back to the match, is that Chinese Festival, their flankers all have jammers on.
Interesting.
So I don't know if that made a factor, but yeah, Apocalyptosaur, don't worry about posting clips, guys. You can, anytime there's a clip, have at it. Go ahead and post away.
Yeah, that stuff definitely helps out. That's always good to be able to go back through. I obviously I watch from the F10 view most of the time. So a lot of times during the week, I'll go back and watch. And sometimes I'll see somebody post a clip and I'll be like working, watching the match. And I'm like, oh, so it's nice when you guys do post that stuff. That is, it's cool to be able to go back through and check all that different stuff out, especially like for myself.
I do enjoy that stuff. Plus it provides easy highlights that I can go back and find cuts for.
Exactly.
That just makes it easy. So guys, if you want to make clips, have at it. I do enjoy it.
Yeah, let's see those composition skills.
So I have to reset the other servers. Give me a second, guys.
Curious notion you brought up with the jammers, though. If all of those flankers running jammers outside of 30 miles, it's going to create a pretty muddy picture for those F-15s, right? I mean, you'll know how many are there, but you'll really be struggling to sort and get your TWS stacked and sorted on all that, I would assume, right?
Say again?
With the Su-27s running jammers outside of 30-ish miles, those F-15s are going to struggle
40
to
kilometers.
40 kilometers. Okay, that the
Kilometers.
jammer. That's when the jammer starts to burn off to the enemy radar, right? Right at around that range, I think.
Yes.
So prior to that, it is going to create a muddier picture to sort, and maybe that was part of the reason we saw 707 so offset to the back.
Possibly, but he really wasn't. He wasn't really in a position that he, being that offset that the jammer was going to do anything.
No, not necessarily, but maybe just well, I guess if they really wanted to make that difficult, they would be jamming and flying close together, right, to create a difficult picture to sort on that F-15's radar.
Typically, yeah.
Yeah.
Got that set, so they should be ready to go.
Now we're getting pretty close to the playoffs here.
We are. So, playoff picture right now. And I actually think, guys, I was mistaken on the 8 teams for Diamond. It's actually 6. So it's 6 teams for Diamond, not 8.
So big match for
this is a
both of these teams.
Big match.
Both of
And
these
Iriaf,
teams sitting in 7 and 8 right now. Huge
Iriaf
match.
flies later. I don't think we're gonna see them fly, but they fly against InSky. So
Ooh,
InSky's
also
doing.
big
They're
match.
in 4th in this middle of the bracket, guys. And I'm gonna bring this over.
Yeah, well worth showing everybody right now because it is an interesting picture in Diamond League. That is for sure. It is going to be one heck of a home stretch leading into the playoff.
So if we look right here while we're watching these guys, RTV back to base. 104th is in the lead. They're undefeated. Ta only has the 1 loss to 104th. So they're going to stay in 2nd place. UVAF has 2 losses with InSky, so this is a big time matchup, and they actually have to fly against each other later this month. So that's a big time matchup. And then the middle of the bracket, or the middle of the league, with 51st, Iriaf, Chinese Festival, and RVE. This is big, and I mean big. For the bracket. I mean, Chinese Festival and RVE are right next to one another. RVE has 1 more loss, but right now, Chinese Festival is not getting in. So a lot of this is going to depend on how the match between InSky and Iriaf comes and what happens there. But another thing I need to point out is that Chinese Festival and CNF also have several fewer matches than 51st and
that is true.
Only has 6. So 51st and Iriaf both have flown 8 matches, while as InSky, Chinese Festival and RVE have only flown 6. So they've got some time to go.
And that'll be, well, technically said this is their 7th match of the year today, both of the RVE and CNF, right? Where they're in their 7th match right now.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true. So again, guys, the top 6 advance. I think that's what I wrote in the forums.
Yep.
So you'll have a couple play-ins, and then there'll be a couple buys. So that's how everything's going to get laid out. But the top 6 teams advance, and then the top 12 teams for Gold League advance, because we have several more teams.
And that KD ratio, very slim margins there between those last the 5, 6, 7, and 8 teams. It really jumps up once you get to 51st in the 5th slot there, but 0.73, 0.67, 0.53, very slim margins here. So as these last few weeks shape up, could be a lot of jockeying for position for that last 6th spot there. So RVE really needs to pull these next 2 rounds off here and get a win out of this today if they want to stay in good shape for the playoff. that last match certainly gave CNF some advantage in the KD ratio department. What do they send in back? Four or five?
Something like that.
Yeah.
If they're able to commandingly win this matchup, it puts a nail in the coffin for RVE and really moves CNF to solidify their end of the year position for the end of the year tournament. The end of the year tournament's going to take place probably the second week, or start the second week of December. So we'll take a week off, or at least a week or two off, and then we'll get the end of the year tournament going. And there's going to be a lot of matches. I mean, a lot of matches. I'll be on like all day. Saturday.
Yeah, playoff
Saturday,
days are
Sunday.
fun.
They are.
It's a lot of fun.
They are. We
Get
got
the snacks and strap in.
We got a HOTAS to give away. So we just got stuff that's happening. So that's about it. Nothing else is. Oh, well, we've got downtime. So a couple things that I wanted to talk about. One, BFM ladder. So Jabbers started a ladder on Splash One Gaming. It didn't really gain any traction, and I told him that I would try and see where we could go with it. So we're going to do a DCS World Events ladder. And the ladder, if you guys aren't familiar with what a ladder is you can challenge people that are like 2 steps above or 2 steps below, and then you get points based on your wins. So there's no set schedule. It's all about just setting up matches and flying as many matches as you can. So obviously flying more matches if you continually win is beneficial to you gaining more points. But what this allows people to do is just always have the availability to fly a competitive match. So the ladder, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a mission that's always going to be up. And you guys can jump in it. I'm going to have it auto restart like every, I don't know, 3 hours or 2 hours. And it'll have a warning for restarting. But you guys can jump in the mission. And the reason I'm going to do that is just to make sure that nobody's creating missions of their own and watching on TACView or doing funny things with fuel management and all that stuff, or labels or any of that stuff. So I'm going to set up a mission that people can use and utilize. And then you submit your the outcome of the match to Splash One Gaming's ladder bot, and then he takes care of it, puts it in, and then you guys can submit stuff there. So it's not done on the website. It's all done on Splash One Gaming's Discord. And I really encourage anybody that's interested in BFM to go check that out. Yes, it will be 1v1. And if you do have a good match, or you think it was really a good match, well fought, win or lose, let me know, and we'll cast it. We'll cast the track. So I am really excited about that going down. What I might do is I might also do a BVR ladder, like a SATAL style ladder. So instead of like training matches, they can be training matches, but you have the option of competing in the ladder along with the SATAL league. So that's what we got going on. Big shout out to Jabbers for putting that all together. He does a lot for the community, and I think this community, the competitive community, is going to really be able to take advantage of that ladder that he put together. Just hasn't gotten any traction. It's really well done, but that's coming, and I'm going to make a forum post about it here in the coming weeks so we can get that whole thing started. But I'm excited about that one.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, these guys are finishing RTB and back to Krasnodar. I think they're going to Kras Center.
And would that be something you could just spectate if you wanted to? Or how would that, like if people were fighting on there, you could just sit there and spectate theoretically, right?
Maybe. I might do that.
Yeah. Not a bad idea.
Did we lose somebody? Did one of these guys crash?
Snowman disconnected. No, that was the RVE player.
I don't know what 505's doing. He's just flying in circles. 505's out of fuel. That's what happened.
Oh, yep, he is real slow.
So we'll just ride along with 307 and see RTBs back to Krasnodar. But that is what's coming up with the ladder here sooner rather than later. So I'll be again releasing a forum post here in the coming weeks to outline how all that's going to go down.
Tell you what, I'm curious. I saw in the weekend news ED referencing that RTS dynamic campaign thing they're working on. Curious how, we don't obviously know a whole lot about how that's going to all play out, but curious how that could fit into SATAL down the road once we start to get our hands on that. I think they said 2021 or something like that was when they were aiming to try to put out that dynamic campaign. Looks like that could be something pretty interesting.
Yeah, and another thing that happened is Heapler with their whatever. People are speculating of what's going to happen with Heapler's new sim or game or military-esque thing. So that happened over the past couple days.
Oh, I didn't see anything on that. I know that they are
made
obviously
a job
working on something like
posting
that.
asking for C++, but there were a bunch of pictures and with meta simulations and stuff about something they're working on in Unreal 4. The Unreal 4 engine. We don't know what it is, but that's supposedly happening.
Certainly juicy, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that
Yes.
goes down. I'm going to change.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the next year, once again, this past year, I think was great for flight simulation, specifically of the combat variety. I think this next year, we can deem it the year of the helicopter from a lot of different perspectives. I think most would agree out there, just based on what we have on the horizon for us in BCS here. So I'm curious to see what a year from now, what this whole simulation is like as far as the general combat environment you go into.
Yeah, I don't know. Not entirely sure what it's going to be like.
Have you seen anything on that Kiowa? The Kiowa looks pretty interesting in itself. I'm kind of excited to get my hands on that.
Good. I don't know that there's a signed contract yet.
I don't think so either.
I know the Kiowa, I think, appeared at an air show, so I think it's further along than we think it is. We watched DNF's 307 put down. If he's able to successfully land, which a lot of these guys are more than capable of successfully landing, that'll spell the end of round one and give CNF the match win or the round win over RVE. So he drops tail shoot, and he slows down, and that's going to be it. But the Kiowa, to wrap this up before we move on to round two, Billy, it does look pretty good.
Those Hellfires are quite fun.
Yeah.
So, and then, I mean, honestly, something that looked really cool was just the ability to grab that can of smoke and throw it out the side of the window. I don't know why, but I'm really excited to just fly around and do that. In server, say like a server like Blue Flag or some of these other servers that really have that whole ground air dynamic going on, that could be a lot of fun. Spotting targets, lasing targets, in the whole 9 yards. So yeah, excited to go slinking around the mountains and hiding and spotting stuff and those things, that's for sure. Hopefully that can all come together.
So what's gonna happen is instead of gonna watch fan videos, I'm gonna send you guys to an ad break. So I know that's not very fun, but it generates a little bit more income for the stream that I can put towards making stuff. It's not a whole lot. We're gonna try and see how this ends up working. If you guys don't want to watch them, go watch something else. If you guys have ad block, go ahead and utilize it. But I'm just going to throw up an ad break. It just makes the intermissions and stuff a little bit easier while we get the round two set up. And then once I get everything set up, I'll bring you guys back, and we will be back for round two action between Chinese Festival and RVE. I think RVE is going to bring it back this time. So guys, send you to an ad break. I'll catch you back here in a few minutes after we get this next round ready to go. See you guys here back in a minute. All right, ads are going.
Noise.
need you to see something.
And my camera decided it wanted to take a dump again. What are you doing, camera? You guys got that awesome profile with my mouth open. It was nice. Glad you guys were able to enjoy that. It's very flattering. Camera likes to freeze on the most flattering of pictures. It's very nice. So let me change how this one. And settings. Stop dropping frames, camera. What are you even doing? Why are you even doing that? I don't even know what you're doing.
Go home, camera. You're drunk.
Yeah. It doesn't like me for some reason.
Drunk on BDR combat, just like the rest of us.
I guess. But guys, that was round one between Chinese Festival and RVE. RVE leads Chinese Festival leads 1-0, and that was, I think RVE's got it in them. They just had that unfortunate double casualty where Tito and Daxter were taken down. That was unfortunate. But I think they got it in them. I think they're going to take round two, and I think we're going to go to round three. So let's jump in, watch these guys get their taxi on, and get ready for round two. Chinese Festival leads 1-0 here in this match one of the day between RVE and CNF. How you think this is going to go, Billy? I mean, do you think Chinese Festival is going to take this one again?
My guess is RVE comes out a little bit more conservative in their play after that first round, and I think we see, I'm not sure exactly how you phrase it, but you phrase it really well in that first match there. Basically just pick their matchups better than they did in that first one. Pick and choose where they go in to fight CNF a little bit more carefully than they did in that previous round, and I think they're going to have better results. They really need to have, I didn't feel like they had a game plan for the fact that they were down by a guy. Now maybe they did and it just didn't see from the F10 menu, which is very possible, but I feel like they need to have a better plan to deal with the fact that they're down a guy to a team like CNF going into this. So let's hope they've come up with something, or at the very least have a little bit more composure when picking and choosing these fights here. And I think we're going to see a better match if they can pull that off.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
But CNF, I think we're going to see the same thing out of them again. I know they, teams like CNF and InSky, and there's one other team off the top of my head there, 51st usually in that same vein, don't mix the tactics up mid-match. They generally have a game plan and they stick to it unless something doesn't work at all. So I don't see any reason why we would see CNF go with some sort of different maneuvers here. My guess is it's really going to come down to RVE playing things a little differently and outsmarting CNF on this one.
I don't know why things are showing up twice in chat as far as, G.I. Joe dropping 330 bits, and then it shows up twice in chat. I don't think he donated. He did the bits twice. I don't know what that is. But let's catch up real quick on what everybody's done and contributed. Eldor drops 100 bits and says, "No ad, but pay your bills. Pay your bills, man. Thank you, brother. Much appreciated." Then Dread Searle comes in with the 5 gifted subs to Rum Runner, Agony Destiny, Scome, Fat Blaster, and Xerox. Welcome. Hopefully you guys enjoy your stay. Scome is back for the 2nd month. Welcome, welcome. And Comey says, "Oh my gosh, it's SATAL," and recommits for 4 months. thank you, Comey. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
And Steve 099 resub today and also gifted a tier 1 sub to Moltbot. He's making sure that Moltbot, the bot of DCS World Event Stream, has his stuff going on. And then G.I. Joe drops 330 bits with that 30-bit bonus. Thank you, brother. Much appreciated. I'm assuming he's hyped about the new Terminator coming out. Seeing Sarah Connor in there. But how do you think that's going to be?
You know, it looks pretty interesting. I mean, it's like every time a new Terminator comes out, you just want it to be really good. But I think we've all been snake bitten in the past by those, so I can understand how I think most people would be a little apprehensive. But it looks pretty good. I mean, I'm a sucker for that nostalgia, Top Gun 2 type feeling with it. You know, like let's bring that stuff back. I mean, I know there's a lot of people who are like, don't remake the classics, and to some extent, there are certainly some movies that just should never have that treatment done to it, that should just be preserved for what they are. But it's a little late with Terminator on that one. Yeah, we're a little we're a little past the Rubicon for Terminator 2 and the preservation of it. So I guess I'll just keep taking what they keep throwing at me and hoping it's decent, right? But yeah, I think this one looks pretty good.
So let me issue the taxi. Somebody was asking about the books I have behind me. I've got Skunkworks by Ben R. Rich and Leo Janis, the B-52 Strato Fortress by Yenny, and then the Big Book of X-Bombers and X-Fighters
All right.
by Pace, and then the complete book of the SR-71 Blackbird by Graham.
There you go.
And then the Encyclopedia of Modern Military Aircraft by Paul Eden. And guys,
you gotta have an aircraft encyclopedia. Yeah. I'm being dead serious. Like, if you're into this stuff and you don't have like a really good reference book, obviously the internet has a lot of great sources and all that stuff, but I've always enjoyed having a really quality book to reference with that type of stuff, where you know that information's been curated to some degree and all that. And plus, it's just a good coffee table book at the end of the day if you're a playing guy, right?
Well, I grew up on them. Those were some of my favorite books as a really young kid, like this old school hand-drawn versions of the plans.
Yep.
But actually, somebody was saying Moltar doesn't read. I actually have a really hard time reading after getting hit by a truck. So I can't really read books, so they just kind of sit there right now. I can read stuff on black backgrounds, like on my phone, okay, if it's a smaller thing, but my brain and my eyes kind of freak out if there's that much congestion and stuff on a page. So you hit it right on the nose. I actually don't read because of that. So we're just watching Chinese Festival get their taxi on. But I do like a lot of these. Upstairs, I've got a big ass book on the F-14, and I was lucky that I read Shaw's book on fighter combat before I got hit by a truck.
There you go. Yeah, that's one you're going to want to process prior to that whole thing going on. That's a big one right there. But that's another one that's on my shelf as well. That's a book everybody who's into this stuff should probably peruse through at the very least. But I've been getting into these World War III fiction novels lately, which is pretty cool. I found one through playing that Simano game that's been pretty interesting. Just different people's, versions of how World War III goes down. It's just always been interesting to kind of read into.
Dread Sorrow, you said I'm quiet? Raise that up just a little bit. See how that goes. I brought my volume up a bit, but it could have been that I was turned away from the microphone and I've got a highly directional microphone, so maybe that was what was going on. I kind of wonder, Billy, what happens to the viewer count on the multi-stream?
I'm not sure.
Apocalyptosaur was asking about that earlier. I don't really know what happens. I don't know if we lose the main viewers or what ends up happening. Does anybody want to do research on that and see if you jump to a multi-stream, does
that still count towards the overall view count? Or now there's views and then there's actual people watching, right? Those two different metrics.
Actual people watching. G.I. Joe, thank you for the 100 bits and says, sorry, Moltar. Dude, it is what it is. I didn't die. So that's it was kind of a bonus. Toast, I got hit by a truck in June of 2017. So it's been about 2.5 years. And we've kind of reached that maximum medical improvement area, so we don't really think it's going to get better. But it is what it is. You know, I didn't die. My wife is grateful for that. I'm grateful I'm not dead. And it's kind of a plus being live and not dead. So, whatever. Can't do anything to change it. Don't ride motorcycles anymore, which kind of sucks because that was a big hobby. But, you know, I get to spend time with all of you guys on the weekend, even though I feel like I'm going to die after the streams. But I still have fun doing it. Anyway, enough about Moltar's truck nightmares. Anyway, CNF is taxiing now to the runway on Bodhi. I think RVE is going to be doing the same. This is a really boring song. That is not any help. And 801 and 505 look like they're going to be leading it off. Dreadstro, I did not break a bone, so I guess so. I don't know how. I still have never broken a bone in my life, which is weird. You know, I got T-boned by a truck and didn't break anything. Bike broke things. Truck broke things. Moltar did not break things. Must be made out of adamantium. I don't know.
Certainly a possibility.
Possibility. That'd be cool. Maybe maybe I am the real unbreakable. I just need to attach paint buckets to my bench bar and stuff.
Maybe we're running the wrong kind of stream. We need to be just getting you to do all kinds of wild stuff on stream.
Yeah, maybe.
See how far we can push that body of yours.
Maybe. I don't know.
Watch the amazing Moltar get hit with pure planks of titanium.
Well, easy there. I might be breakable to something. Easy. So fights on here in this round 2 between Chinese Festival and RVE. Chinese Festival leads 1-0 going into round 2. They took it commandingly here in round 1. And I think RVE's got it in them. Unless they fly exactly how they did in round 1, then they don't. That was very John Madden that I just threw down there. Unless they fly badly, they're going to win.
We've certainly seen a lot of the pilots on RVE, Tito, Snowman, Arctander, Daxter, pull off some crazy stuff over the years here at SATAL. So I think there's a lot of capable guys there who could easily do a 1v3, a 1v2 there and pull this off. Certainly the talent and the knowledge. We just need them to bring it together here and with that little bit of a disadvantage they have, which we talk about it all the time. I think, you know, if you want to point out one of the things we reference the most here, it's that losing that man, the first team to go down a man is generally in a worse off position. Yeah. So when you start the match down a man, you've already entered into it at that big of a disadvantage, and it just requires a lot of planning, specifically against a team as organized against CNF, to be able to come out on top in a situation like this, at least from my perspective.
G.I. Joe says Moltar is Stretch Armstrong. That was confirmed as a no. Because I did need a knee reconstruction and a shoulder reconstruction, so I don't stretch very well, evidently. I don't break bones, but I don't stretch very well, so I did have to have a knee reconstruction.
I'm just picturing Moltar in like one of like the cartoon style full white body cast with like the arms suspended up, like, hey guys.
Now I was in some braces, like a knee brace, and I was in a sling and stuff, but no casts. No casts.
That's nice. That's nice.
In all honesty, I tell people though, I would have rather broken bones than have gone through the reconstructions, because a broken bone heals itself in a few months.
It does.
Reconstructions
I had a compound fracture though, and that is not fun. So I'll tell you that much, is when it's fun as long as it's not like a bad break. And then at that point, I don't know if that would be the case, because that was a pretty terrible thing right there. Well, I had to have like a bunch of surgery on it because it tore a bunch of stuff. And
the reconstructions. I mean, they'll never, like, my collarbone sticks out of my shoulder.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll never be able to get it down, and it'll never. It sounds like I've got a ratchet in my knee. All that stuff,
making the clicking noises.
Yeah, it'll never go back to how it was.
Now, do you get, like, I know with my wrist, I'll get when the weather changed, like the barometric pressure and stuff like that. Okay, yeah, I can imagine that for an incident of that nature, you're probably feeling that sometimes, because I know I do for sure.
There's other pain that goes along with it. Again,
yeah.
Hence why I'd rather break a bone. But
Yeah, fair.
you know,
fair,
I can't.
fair.
You can't get in an accident and say I'm gonna injure this, this, and this. It doesn't. It doesn't really happen.
If it was only that easy.
That doesn't happen.
Indeed.
But anyway, guys, enough about Moltar's truck escapades and Moltar motorcycle riding fiascos. Let's see how these guys are getting on. Daxter is way back in the back. They still have 5 pilots this time. As RVE departs, 6 still for CNF. They're in 2-3 ships.
Now,
They don't
interesting,
have
Daxter.
They don't have the singletons anymore. That seems to be over on RVE side.
Maybe somebody can correct me here. Daxter was the lead plane in the previous round, if my memory serves me correctly, or at least at the front of the pack for the majority of that, right? I'm pretty sure that was the case. I could be wrong there, though. You're a ratchet thought, DCS.
I'm a
Toast.
ratchet thought? Come on, Toast. You calling me a hoe?
That's priceless.
Guys, I don't think, I really don't think that this is the hoe face.
I don't follow that under things you'd never see spoken in SATAL chat. The word thought.
Yeah. Or that Moltar would be called a thought. I don't see that. Don't see that happening.
Good time.
But
Good time.
Whatever. So who are you giving this round to, Billy?
It's tough not to give it to CNF, considering the factors. I mean, I think if I'm a betting man here, I'm putting the odds in their favor.
Well, we're betting.
Are we? Are we now?
No, we're not.
I mean, okay. I was gonna say if
I
we're
don't-
making
I don't
some
have any-
odds here,
I don't have any money to bet this.
we need to figure out how to set up a money line for SATAL. I'll work on that.
That would be.
So set up the
Guys,
first
we don't need
DCS
a
World Sports
we don't need a
book.
professional sports booking here for.
So take
for
parlays, all kinds
SATAL.
of fun stuff. Take some teaser bets. You can gamble on. Maybe I'll finally get my location. Which location has more wins in a season? Teaser bet. We can get that going. Put some money down beginning of the season. Say
Billy's
if you
really
think
trying.
Minvoti's going to have the most wins all year, we'll get some odds on that going. You can make a nice wager. When the season's over, you can pick up a nice check. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Hashtag DCS Sportsbook coming soon.
Yeah. Right. Rum Runner, if you have combined arms, is there a way you can watch this? No. You can watch it after the match takes place. I upload the tracks and the tack views to the Google Drive, so you can go back and rewatch them if you like, and jump into combined arms Airmaster
frankly,
slots that way.
I think if if you're watching the match and you have the time to check out the tack view after, there's probably a lot to learn from watching a match like this and then going and observing that tack view file after. I mean, you're getting kind of a full debrief on a match that you didn't necessarily fly in, but you watched, and certainly a lot to learn, because I think as much as we try to present as much of this whole battle as possible to you guys, I just know right now from when I watch the things I see, there's a lot that goes on, and that tack view has all of it at the end of the day. That tack view and the track file are going to show you everything that actually happened there, and it's going to give you a broader understanding of what you just watched. And for obviously you guys who've been flying and doing this for a while, maybe not necessarily as important, but for the guys who are just tuning in, just flying in DCS, been into it for a few months and are really trying to step their game up, that is a good way to go in and learn, is by watching those tack views after watching the match like that. So
yeah, for sure.
You wonder why a guy did this and when he vertical notched. I mean, I remember the first time I observed somebody vertical notch in tack view and how much more it made sense to me just from that perspective, and distances too. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Apocalyptosaur says Reddit post says multi-stream gives the viewer to each channel.
Okay, so it does end up passing that metric on to the actual Steam account, for lack of a better phrase.
Maybe. I don't know.
I think
Reddit, so
I'm reading that.
Eldor, do you upload the tack view? Yes, you get the tack view and the track. So I upload both. Occasionally I'll fuck up and I'll upload the wrong one or it won't match up, but I do upload them all. So then they go into their own zip archives, and then you can go into the Google Drive. And if you guys aren't on the Splash One Gaming Discord, go check it out. There's a DCS World Events announcement channel, and there's some links in there that'll take you to the Google Drive where all of the past matches and stuff that we've done, or at least a lot of them are. I've missed a couple. I'm trying to stay on top of it now, but that's where they all are. So if you guys want to go back and watch stuff, that's where they are. Those are the tracks that we use to make the highlight videos. So all of the stuff that you guys see, we don't go back and make, I don't go refly anything. It's all actual match content, and we just cut it up. So there's no flying things just for the sake of highlight videos. No recreating things, but it is what it is. And Eldor has requested the Discord. There is the Discord. And you guys can drop down to the DCS World Events announcements channel, and the links will be there. The separation between the two teams is 54 nautical miles. Daxter looks like he's caught up. Daxter's pushing 50,000 feet in that F-15.
Interesting.
And CNF, they're around 30,000 feet. So RVE leads are about 33,000 feet. Trailers that are coming back, Arctander looks like he's coming back with Daxter, are at 33,000 feet, but man, Daxter is high. Top Flyboy, yeah, the sound mod is still out. It should be on the forums, so you can go find it. It hasn't been updated in a couple months, but I haven't had a need to update it in a couple months. So yeah, it's all still out. Just go check out Moltar's mod on the TV forums in the mod section. That's where it is. Comey, there really aren't any formations going on right now. Looks like RVE is splitting into a 2-ship line and a 3-ship line, and then I don't know what Chinese Festival's doing. They've got a 2-ship spread, a big spread in the lead, and then in the rear it's like a 4-ship wall. So I don't know what's going down there, but separation between the two teams is now down to under 30 nautical miles.
Interesting formation from CNF here. They did actually, in fact, go ahead and pull something a little different. It's like a box plus 2 here or something like that. I'm not even sure how to describe what I'm saying.
I'd say
RVE,
it's a 2-ship spread and a 4-ship wall.
Yeah, that's fair.
RVE's just in 2 lines.
Two are just,
and I don't know if they're actually in 2 ships, like 2 2-ship spreads in the lead, and then Arctander's in the trail, or what's going on there. But I hope Arctander's able to commit into this one in a reasonable fashion. One thing I will note from thinking about this from round 1, Billy, is that it seemed like a couple of the guys really didn't commit very well into the fight. Like they stayed out of the fight.
It seemed like 2 did, 3 didn't, and then we saw what kind of happened there. Like 2 guys were pushing in, the other 3 were a little too hesitant, and then I think that was that situation where we lost Daxter and Tito real quick, right?
Comey says CNF is doing a 2-4-4. Possibly. Just without the second 4. So they've got the strikers, the midfield.
Oh, okay.
No backline, and the goalkeeper just gave up and walked off the field.
Yeah, soccer. There we go. I was
so
like, wait,
Snowman
what?
puts a couple 120s out on 505. Those are non-factor and get trashed right away. ET from 801 on cover now. That is trashed immediately. Daxter, 26,000 feet now. He's slowed way down. 120 out from him. I don't think that's going to have any ability. That's from 10 nautical miles on 405, and that's just going to be a wasted missile. 405 responds with a 120 of his own, but Daxter is already egressing away. We can jump in and watch him as he breaks out and split us in some ground and away from the fight, and that 120 is not going to have anywhere near enough juice to be able to catch him. Yeah, you can see it. It's like 3 miles behind him. I'd like to see RVE commit together. Looks like they're just coming in as 1-ships.
Yeah, it's certainly interesting from there. Snowman now looking like he is circling down a little bit more south here. That might be to cover 505.
Arctander may be in a decent spot.
101 deep. Real deep
yeah,
right
and I
now,
think Arctander
like.
just launched on him.
He did,
6 miles, and then 101 gets the warning. There's the warning. Still got 3 tanks on. Where's the missile? That's not going to catch him. He's going to be able to run away from that. No problem at all. You see it back
Credit
there?
to CNF. They really know their ranges. They know the distances they are safe in and the distances that they are not safe in, and they are very respectful of those distances. From what I can observe, they don't really ever put themselves in a bad situation to where that's going to. Oh, there we go. Uh-oh, that's a problem.
Uh-oh. We're going to let
That's
this
a
one play out, but that's an issue right there.
That's really homing in on Tito, too.
Oops. He's going to be able to get away from it just fine, but that is the end of this round. So RVE is going to take at least one round here. But we're going to let it play out. We're going to see how this goes because I don't want to just get rid of it. I want these guys to play it how they should.
He's gonna, if he keeps using it, I think that's certainly a problem there. Hopefully they realize that, but that's not easy to just know unless you've realized you've loaded the wrong ones on. It's difficult to know that in the moment.
Right. But like Agony Death, who said that? Oh, Toss Squirrel said we're gonna have a third round, baby. It's coming. It's coming. I just hope RVE is able to take this one.
Oh, not the first one. That was the first one I saw. Yeah.
It'd be a true 1v1, but we've had at least a couple 120Cs launched here. All right. So
surprising for CNF. They're pretty good about that.
They are. RVE's coming off. They're going to recommit here in a second. Comey says he thinks a couple guys from CNF have him.
Yeah, I think he might be right. I'm looking through right now. It's not super easy to tell, but I think somebody, it was Bullet a few weeks ago, was pointing out the difference in the fins on them. I can kind of tell.
Yeah, they are.
The C's have the clip fins.
Smaller.
They got the clipped ones, right? Yeah. I think it's 405 definitely is loaded to the brim.
Rick Crutch, no, the C is better. The reason the C is banned is to bring parity for all the weapons and try and make things more even.
Yeah, there's a couple.
Separation between 405 Daxter and Tito is 6 nautical miles. Multiple 120s coming out on 405. Is he going to be able to get away from that? He waits a bit long to get a 120 out of his own. Are they going to catch him with his pants down? There it is. There it is. There it is. And no, it ran out of juice. It lost track of it. He was able to break off there at just the right time. You can see it detonate into the ground there. And he just got out of dodge there, just in time. So we're still at a 6v5. No casualties yet. 9 nautical mile, 120 coming in on 101.
And yeah, that was the move there that I think led to that 120 thing. Two of those guys switched from flankers to F-15s, and yeah, just probably didn't think about it a whole lot when doing that, and there you go.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Different pilots. They didn't actually change aircraft that are represented, but different pilots.
Different pilot. Because they were in all flankers in the first match, yeah.
Flies right by him. So still no casualties. We had a couple early casualties from RVE in round 1. Daxter's coming in against a 3-ship. Is he going to pull some wizardry out of his ass?
Yeah, wait, are they're changing the airframe? That's okay.
Why do those look like 120Cs?
That one that just came off 101 is a B for sure. You said Daxter, you think has C's on him?
No, now he's fine. Somebody had him. Maybe it was one of the CNF guys. They had clipped wings on him. Robski, the reason we don't do it is because there's some issues that they cause with other aircraft, and it just poses problems. We've tried doing it in the past. Tito's not going to get away from that 120C. I think that's going to track him down. Yeah. So Tito gets taken down, and that's the first clue to RVE that's a 120C. Top Flyboy, they are. So they're banned restrictions, and I'm just letting them play out. So RVE won this round, guys. I'm just letting it play out, and they're going to be issued a loss. So I don't want to kill the round early. I'm just letting it go at this point. No big deal. So that was a 120C that took down Tito. I'm just letting them play out here.
Well, what is it? Is the changing of airframes that is allowed mid round?
No.
I know pilots can swap. Yeah, see, they switch.
You can't change it. No, they still have the same airframes. Or do they?
No, I thought they ran all flankers that first round, and now there's 215s.
No, they didn't run all flankers. They had 215s and 4 flankers.
Did they? Okay, maybe I was just off there. I could have sworn there was all flankers on that first round.
Exchange coming between Arctander. What a dodge by Arctander. Gets into the notch and takes down 505. What a round. Robski, it's not 1 minute after. What I'm telling you is that it causes issues with other jets. Is why it's not in. It was a problem through multiple patches. That's what the problem is. Arctander unfortunately gets taken down by 707. So we are down to a 5v3 at this point. Cover now puts a 120 out on 405. That's going to be too far away. 801 responds with the ER on cover now. That is trashed. And we've still got a 3v5 coming in here. But Daxter's still alive. Daxter hasn't gone down yet. So if we look at Daxter, Daxter still has 2 120s and an AIM-7 and an AIM-9. So he's got plenty of missiles to do damage with. Snowman getting his turn in. See if we can see who he's coming in on. Snowman puts a 120 out. That's a decently close missile from 6 nautical miles. That's got some pep on it. 801's not defending too aggressively. May catch him. Still breaking away. Ooh, that was close. That came right behind him. But he was able to get away from it. Barely, but he was able to get away from it. Daxter is a singleton coming in against 307 and 405. Gets a 120B out on 307 and breaks away. I think that was that was a 120. So he breaks away. Rick Crouch, did they? I can go back and watch the TAC view. I'll have to check during the intermission. If they did, then they did.
I didn't notice a C in the first round, but that's not to say that it didn't happen. And I swear, I'm telling you, I think there was all flankers in the first round, and there was 15 got at them, almost like 90%. Did they? I want to go back and look.
120 and 120C being exchanged from 405. I think Daxter's going to get away from that one. I don't think he's going to have any problem there. Yeah, he gets away from that just fine. That actually got trashed into the ground, so no factor there. And now Snowman ingressing. I'm curious to see weapons remaining on these guys. The flankers still have a bunch. 801 doesn't have a lot. Snowman only has 120 left. 405 only has AIM-9s. Cover now only has AIM-9s. 101 has nothing. Daxter has an AIM-7 and an AIM-9. So we're running out of missiles. The two of the flank. Oh, 405 notches that 120. So he's able to get away from that, no problem. but very few missiles remaining aside from the J-11s. The J-11s have, I think the J-11s have a decent amount of weapons remaining, but not a whole lot remaining for the F-15s in particular. Aim 7 coming from Daxter on somebody. Interesting that he launched it and then immediately broke away. But look how slow that thing is. It's already 700.
Yeah, it's creepy.
So slow. Such a slow missile. Fuel, I think, is going to
I'll get there.
Start becoming a problem in this matchup.
I would agree with that.
So guys, like who said that? Like Grobsky said, we're gonna watch the TAC view here from round 1.
We're not. Are we still doing the YouTube parallel stream? Because I think you can go back on that, right?
No, we're not.
Okay.
I don't want to get. I don't want Twitch to get mad at me.
Yeah, they don't like that, unfortunately. We push those two and figure out a way to play nice.
Sineg, yeah, the multicam should work just fine. ET coming in on Daxter. Is he gonna be able to get it? Flare it! Flare it! Flare it! No. Daxter gets pummeled by that ET. I don't think he saw it coming in. Or maybe he thought it was an ER and he thought he wasn't getting a missile warning, but he gets pumped by that ET coming in. Now cover now may get flanked by 405. 405 doesn't have any of the 120Cs left. Couple aim 9s. And cover now committing in on 405. No, cover now. Try and get that aim 9 launch. You're just breaking away. You got a flare. Got a flare. There's the flares. But you didn't flare early enough. That's unfortunate. So 405 gets a kill. Not that it matters a whole lot. And now Snowman is the last man remaining again. Running. Running, running, running. He's got 2 aim 9s remaining.
Oh, is he going to be surprised when they realize they won the match when he gets shot down?
And while
Wait,
we watch
what?
him, I'm actually going to check this stuff here real quick. So while you guys watch, I'm going to check the TAC view.
Well, I certainly think from the leadership perspective on CNF, they've been around, they know the rules. These things are very much so in place. I think that the ownership falls on them to make sure that stuff doesn't happen. So, if it was a newer team, I think maybe some of this stuff might be a little more understandable. But these guys have been doing it for a while. That's something that's easily avoidable.
Nope. No 120Cs in round 1. Just slipped through it. So that's not going to be a factor. It's just in this round.
And I am crazy.
Snowman has recommitted. You see who he's committed in on? No. There goes 73. What? Is that intentional? I mean, it may have potential if Snowman does nothing, but I don't think it's going to have anywhere near enough energy, especially that it's
Talk about
playing.
Hail Mary.
Maybe. No way. No. Snowman's turning too much.
No. I think it's crawling at this point anyway.
So Snowman's breaking away again, but now he's got people really close. I don't know why he just recommitted there just to turn away. So Snowman's got 405 and 307 bearing down on him. ER coming from 307, and that is well within range. They're pretty close to it. Can we see his target? There's Snowman out there. Snowman's pretty defensive, and he's above him, so maybe that ER won't be able to reach. That one, as Moltar, or not as Moltar, as 405 was, or Snowman was defensive. He got a little bit close, and I think Snowman blacked out. And Robsky said it right. I did check. There were no 120 seats in round one. We're going to get things reset, guys. We're going to round 3. I have no idea how the War Dogs Viper Squadron match is going, but we are going to watch that here after the completion of this matchup. It is a track, so there will be no delay. You guys will just be able to watch immediately the next round. So that's coming up. I'm going to send you guys to another ad break. Reminder, if you are subbed, you do not see ads. You don't see ads, so don't worry about it. If you don't see any ads, you're subbed, you don't see it. So I'm going to send you guys to another ad break. We'll be back with round 3. RVE and CNF tied at 1 apiece. See you guys here in just a minute. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like my camera isn't FooBar anymore. I think I got another 4K camera behind me that I'm going to use for hardware reviews. That stuff will be coming up soon in the next couple of weeks. Still got to make stuff, but that's coming. So, round 1 between CNF and RVE, there was no 120C. So CNF won round 1. Obviously, the 120C was used in round 2. So RVE won round 2. So we're one apiece going into round 3. Viper Squadron in War Dogs. I have no idea how that round went, or that matchup went. I've restarted the server. I think they're probably pretty close to being done, or are done. But we're going to be watching them immediately following this. I'm going to go grab a snack and get something to drink, but it'll only take a few minutes, and we'll go from there. So, somebody brought up a good idea in regards to the ads, that I should bring up the fan video instead of the Be Right Back screen for the subs, and then anybody that's not subbed gets the ads. That's a good idea, and that's what we'll do in the future. So we'll do that. Robski, I wanted to showcase my balding hairline, my receding hairline. If you guys didn't know, this is what it looks like, and gray hair on the bottom, on the chin, salt and pepper. This is what's coming.
This is what 30s look like.
This is what your 30s look like. Well, it was in the 20s too when my hair was going away. But whatever. Anyway, so the teams are loading in. And we got round 3, baby. Any predictions here? With how these last couple rounds have gone, I've got to give this to Chinese Festival. They've just been too dominant.
Strong.
They've been too dominant coming into these.
And as I was just saying to you in the break, you got to think these guys want to put an exclamation mark on this whole thing after screwing up, taking the 120Cs and forcing a third round here. They probably want to come out and make a point that, this is their match, if you will. Because so far it's been, but I think a lot of that is on the lack of the extra pilot, the additional pilot from RVE, which is just unfortunate. We all know how those things go with this type of stuff, and that stuff does happen. But I'll tell you what, RVE here, lucky in this whole thing that happened. They now have an opportunity, still with a man down, albeit, to come out and win this match and put themselves back in the hunt for the playoffs. Yep. So, their whole season basically resting on this round here. And, for the most part, I think I don't know if we've done the full math on all that to say 100% or not, but nevertheless, it doesn't look good for them if they don't win this round here. So, you can imagine the pep talk going on in there right now, pretty serious. You want these guys to come out and play like the season's on the line, hopefully.
Yeah. I'm hoping we're going to get a good match, and I'm hoping that in this round, the last round of this matchup between RVE and Chinese Festival, we're finally going to see RVE show up and be ready to go. Foxtrot Alpha asks, did Moltar score 4 touchdowns in one game like Al Bundy did? Since you guys were talking about me wearing an Al Bundy shirt. I did in 8th grade. That was the last time I played football. 8th grade.
4 TDs in one game.
5 or I don't know.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, but when you're like 6'1", 6'2", 180, 190 pounds in 8th grade,
Yeah, that's that.
And
my dad was almost
you've been a goalkeeper your whole life, and your quarterback's just throwing balls up, and you can just be like, oh, and go catch them. It's easy mode, man. Easy mode.
Just dunking on fools left and right.
I couldn't dunk till high school, but
okay.
Couldn't do that. But high school, I definitely could.
Yeah, my old man was similar. He was 6'2" in the 6th grade. Put it that way. So definitely he's been dealing with the height thing for a while. I didn't get that.
I had a mustache in 7th grade.
Oh, there you go.
I'm a hairy man.
Mine didn't start growing until the later there, but I still got it going now. She's there. I probably need a little bit of a trim job these days, but it's working.
Oh, is that what you call it?
Exactly.
Is that what you call it?
I call it many things, but that is certainly one of them.
Yeah. After 8th grade, I put on a couple more inches. So now I'm like 6'4", and then I started growing out. Now I'm like 6'4", 260.
There you go. Yeah, no, that's right. When we met at the Flight Sim Expo, I did notice you are a very tall individual. That is for sure.
It is what it is. But watching these guys taxi, RVE is going to be taken off out of Bodie again this time, and then CNF is going to be out of Krasnodar. I don't know if... I'm hoping RVE's got it in him. I'm hoping.
We've seen them do similar stuff. I think from what we've seen in the past, they're capable. They're definitely capable. Can they do it today? Is this enough for them to pull out all the stops here and fight like their season is on the line? Because it is. So I think we see that. I think we see them play like that here. I get the feeling this is going to be a good match.
Yeah, Joe, you calling me dumb for being 18 in 7th grade? So what if I was? What are you going to do about it? Call me. I know your expectations when you guys come to this stream is for it to get weird. Okay?
Yeah, Comey acts like it's the first time things got weird around here. Were you new, bro?
Yeah. So Orotara Man gifted a tier 1 sub to Argantuan. Much appreciated, brother. I saw Argantuan said I'm going to have to sub now to get rid of the ads, but Orotara Man took care of that for him. So thank you, brother, for sending that to our El Gargantuan. Much appreciated. Shouldn't be just audio. And maybe you weren't seeing people moving because the F-18's just stationary. Maybe that's what's going on.
I think he's talking about me. That they were asking why I wasn't on the face thing, but I rearranged a bunch of stuff here, so I haven't. The space around me isn't necessarily camera ready at this point, but
not
I plan on.
Really well, he doesn't want to show off his massive dildo collection.
Exactly. That's Moltar has a bunch of cool like flight sim products behind. Mine is just massive dildos that I use for my other cam show.
The just chat section.
Exactly.
Where we see how far you can deep throat things. I've heard the big black one's your favorite.
I mean, why wouldn't it be? I'll ask that question.
I think it's most people.
Right? Exactly.
I mean, there's.
I played to the crowd, guys.
Exists.
I play to the crowd. It is the general nature of how I operate. I give the people what they want. Is it weird enough for you, Comey? You want us to go a little bit more?
Thanks, Lazy Seal. I actually don't really sleep anymore. My body doesn't like to sleep. One of the side effects of a brain injury is nightmares. So picture like you're a kid, and you have horrific nightmares, and you like sit up in the middle of the night like hyperventilating. That's kind of how I feel every night. But so I don't sleep very much. So maybe instead of the oversleeping, you're just seeing Moltar's lack of sleep, and my not having a hat on, it just showcases that even more. And I like Synex's thing about saying we're back to the dildo thing, and instead of a big black one, it's a 120C sitting back there.
Exactly. It's a flight sim air combat based stream show. Things get weird. We cross over into different things. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's new.
It's all about the crosstalk.
Just let it go, guys. Just let it slide in.
Just
You're good.
enjoy it. Just let it slide in.
Wait, you're not supposed to use your flight sim gear as a dildo.
No. I mean, you can use it to satisfy you in any way you see fit, Billy, but I don't think most of us do that.
Once again, I'll ask Comey, is this weird enough for you? Are we checking these planes for 120Cs this time? I feel like we need to do that.
We can, but they need to check that stuff.
They do. Police yourselves.
Oratarmed says nightmares are free horror movies. Dude, I hate horror movies. I don't find them interesting at all.
I'm not a big horror movie guy myself. I mean, honestly, if it doesn't have planes in it, it's going to be a struggle to get my interest.
That's kind of how I feel. But the other problem with my nightmares is I don't have like fantastical nightmares. They're real. like real. I don't know. They feel real, but I'm not like traveling through outer space or something. So I wake up like, oh, that was fake. No, I wake up and I think somebody's in my house or something. I don't know. Strange things. But enough about Moltar's brain issues and stuff. Let's see how these guys are gonna get on. This song is not amping me up. There we go. There's some
I feel like
stuff.
Moltar's brain issues is like a sweet album name or something.
Maybe. You know, that's
could be.
Speaking back of the dildo stuff, let's come back to that. You should put that stuff on Wild Weasel Apparel, like aviation style sex toys.
No,
Wild Boys.
I don't know if that demographic is going to cross over. I mean, certainly a lot of dope things coming for Wild Weasel Apparel.
You don't think Mark 82 butt plugs would be a thing?
I mean, there's certainly a demographic for it. I certainly know some DCS pilots out there that I fly against that would love some stuff like that. But however, I don't know if the majority of Wild Weasel Apparel's customers are going to appreciate it or
like
be
a muzzle with the A10 Warthog space paint on it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, there you go. Like the shark teeth on that. Yeah. Could maybe, you know what? I think what's going on here is a whole new brand and concept is birthing right in front of us here. I honestly, is what it feels like. I think there might be a new idea.
I think this
in the
is
cards
a big
here.
money winner.
Brace for new businesses coming at you guys, new sponsors maybe in the future here. I'll get back to you if I get a name for it.
We could get Cirillas on board.
Probably, honestly, dude. When I start pitching that, watch out. There may be a lot of people trying to jump on board with something like that. That's pure genius.
Jump on board.
Vibrator tapped to toothbrush, cheap electric toothbrush. Just saying, yeah, Comey, not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. Turn that weird all the way to 10. You got it, buddy. I think we're doing that.
In quotations. Extended.
Extended break. Well, I mean, some of us with the jet seats, we're starting to head into that territory to begin with there, you know.
Yeah, mine's starting to go out.
G-spot with the CPU.
From overuse, okay? It's overuse. I have to get another one.
Oh, man, we are keeping it weird today.
Instead of GPU kit nipple pasties, what if you did, like, flashing formation lights?
You know what's really cool? Nobody's kink shaming right now. Everybody's flowing along with this whole vibe here, guys. This is good stuff. This is great.
Comey kind of got us started with things get weird, and then we just jumped off the cliff.
Yep. Everyone just started driving that bus in that direction, and bam, here we are.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna shut up. We're gonna knock off the sex toy talk. I'm gonna turn up the volume. We're gonna watch these guys ingress, and Billy and I'll revisit here and we'll think of some. Sex toy things that we can bring up here in just a moment. But let's enjoy the sounds of these guys ingress, and I'm gonna mess with the camera, if you will. And we'll rejoin you as we get a bit closer. Sit back, enjoy. Round 3 underway. Winner takes all.
electronics is changing so rapidly. Things change in electronics to bring something new. So this is not the
I have not met anybody who can't go through the day in withdrawal from video games.
When you walk into an arcade, any arcade, come with an open mind. An open mind is easy to expand.
All right, Billy, let's do this thing. Volumes,
All right.
music volume, jet volume, everything is going to be loud this stream. It is round 3. Moltar's going to be yelling his ass
Here
off.
we go.
So just heads up,
R73 out.
73. What? What? 73 coming off the rail from 707 on to Tito. That could just be Spoof trying to get a reaction and trying to get them to waste
I
flares.
think it is.
But let's change the music, jump into this, and get the action underway. Moltar's awake now.
Big
It's a little
old
bit sleepier.
train for RVE at this point.
Interesting. Interesting.
Wide, typical CNF formation, but definitely a train run in here for RVE, which probably not a bad idea considering the man
Guys,
the man
not that kind of train.
disadvantage.
Not that kind of train.
Oh wow, I didn't even
Okay.
think about that whole thing
Okay.
there.
Talking about sex toys, now Billy's talking about running trains. I mean,
Just
it's just needs to change his mindset, okay?
formation, guys. That's
Change your mindset, Billy!
Get your mind out of the gutter.
20 nautical mile separation between the two teams. Still 5 remaining for RVE. Recap on who's flying Snowman. Cover now. Tito, Arctander, and Daxter for RVE. 801, 405, 307, 707, 101, and 505 for Chinese Festival. Music is building. The time is coming. As these teams are coming together, they kind of teased us a little bit, but I think the time where the patience is going to wear off is now. Multiple 120s being exchanged between Snowman and 101. 405 is getting the ingress on at 405. 405 has B's again. He's not using C's. He has fixed it. The 120s being exchanged. 405. He's split S-ing it now. He may be giving that missile more juice as he dives away. No. He is fine. DCS Toast says the choo-choo grinder is now. very, very much so. 101 getting the lock warning from Arctander. Maybe. 101 keeping it coming in against Arctander. Arctander immediately turns cold. Arctander, maybe he just wasn't able to score, as 101 is much, much lower. Iowa Scotsman resubbed with Brian for the last 2 months. Much appreciated, brother. Hopefully you're enjoying your stay. Daxter coming in against 101. 101, I think, is getting that RWR nail from Daxter. He thinks better of getting in too deep and turns away here. G.I. Joe, so what if we like Grindr, okay? What I do in my spare time and my social time is up to me. All right? Leave me alone. Billy at the end of this isn't going to be able to contain his laughter.
It's certainly been one of those days. Like Homie said,
15
we kept the
nautical
weird
miles
at the end
separation
today.
between Tito and a 3-ship on CNF 307, 801, and 405. Tito ingressing at 19,000 feet. He's below marks. 120B coming out from Tito. Another one. Is that an 8-9? Multiple 120s coming out from Tito.
And R27
Still got the
coming from
8-9s on
801.
there. 405 is not splitting away. Where's that pitbull warning? He's kind of lackadaisically defending. Turning back in. That 120. That 120. He's got some balls doing this. And it doesn't have the energy to do anything.
An ET coming out at 307 at cover now? Maybe? Yeah.
Does he know that's coming? It's still in gate. Where is it? It's right there to
It's
his
still
right.
got some
I think
mustard
that's
on
got
it
him.
for sure.
I think
that
that's
might
got
have
him.
him.
There goes
Maybe he
120.
sees
We
it.
got to break away.
Flares. No flares. He's in trouble. Oh, right over
my
him.
God. Oh my God. That flew right over top of him.
He's deep now. Cover
Like,
now. Real
took
deep. He's in
paint
trouble.
Off his
He's in
aircraft.
trouble.
120 coming from cover now. Like Billy, you just said, he's in trouble. That 120
He's
coming
deep.
from.
He might be black
Coming on
in
him.
here. That's.
I think nope.
Yeah.
I thought he had it, but he got in too deep. He waited
Got
too long.
too
Got
deep.
lucky on that ET, but he took somebody down with him. So it's now 5v4.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Yes,
Cover
he
now
did.
took
He
down
did.
707. So 5v4. At least he got an exchange there. Snowman getting in
Trade.
deep here. The last man for the last 2 matches.
Oof,
And
here we
he
go.
puts a 120B out on 505. That music is not as exciting. That is not good enough either. There we go. The Snowman getting in a little bit deep. The ET, he popped some players just in case. He's out of gate. Good man. So he is a smart man coming in here. Now we've got a 2-ship Arctander and Daxter engaging 405. 405's used a lot of missiles.
Yeah.
No, he hasn't. He's only used 2. I lied. So 120 coming from 405 on Arctander. Arctander puts a 120 out on 405. Snowman, I would have liked to see him recommit there on the 405 and get the bag and drag. But he is just extending back to the other remaining 3 compadres in his formation. So again, we have a 4v5, RVE with 4, CNF with 5 remaining coming in here for the rest of this fight. 307 recommitting, 101 recommitting. I'd like to see Tito not come in here by himself. Tito's at 14,000 feet. 101 is at 15,000 feet. That's a long... They got to wait on these 120s. These are just wasted missiles. But Tito still has a decent number of missiles. Only 2 remaining now of the 120s. Puts 2 out on 101. 101, now he's split-essing. So 101 split-essing from 15,000 feet. That shouldn't be a problem. We see egresses and gets the hell out of Dodge. Wild Boy says bags give you +10 in combat ability. Yeah, that's why people keep them on. Didn't you know that? Come on. Get with the program, guys. This is a known fact. No. Then like Foxtrot notes, it's 10 total. No, Wild Boys, you're wrong, okay? It's 10
Lots of
total.
missiles coming out. Where is that 27 ER
Arctander puts a
going?
120 out on CNF's 405. ET and ER is coming in on Tito. And those, they're just too long. It's not going to do it.
That's
Not going to do it.
27 from.
Arctander zeroing in on 307. Can't tell who that ET's on. I'm going to assume it's on Arctander, but I don't think it's going to be a factor. 120 coming from Arctander. He's only got 3 left.
Long shots here. I mean, I get what RVE's doing. This is the best they've done at really not
It
getting
is.
deep into
and
their
that 120 coming in on 101.
Look at this.
He's in
Look at
trouble.
this.
Is that going to run him down?
Oh,
He
he got
takes
him.
down.
He got him.
We are
Evens it
equalized.
up.
4 apiece. Is this the moment where RVE says,
Wow.
balls to the wall, we're taking it to him. We've been foobarred and fucked over the last 2 rounds. No more.
What?
No
a
more.
round
You are the
so
one,
far,
CNF,
folks.
who are going to bend over and take it. Is
And
that
look at the
what RVE
separation
is saying?
from CNF here, spread out to the north pretty extensively here. RVE, however, much tighter together, and I
Yes.
think that's really benefiting them right now.
Yes.
That is how they were able to cordon off 101, I believe. They need to keep doing what they're doing because it's working. CNF on tilt right now. They had the momentum in this, and it is quickly evaporating and piling
Can you do a
up for
weapons check
RVE
for us,
here.
real quick?
I'll start with RVE.
405 committing by himself on the RVE mob. So 405 is sitting at 5,000 feet. 505 is 2,000. 801 is 4,000. 307 is 1,000. So CNF is really, really low. While if we look at the RVE guys, they are much higher. And on
Yes, they
ingress,
are.
that's going to be much more beneficial for them.
And
Snowman puts a
there's-
120 out on 405. And 505 responds with an ER, but he immediately breaks away. So that's not going to do anything, and that's just a wasted missile.
There's a lot of missiles left for RVE. A lot of missiles left. Almost everyone's dropped their tanks.
Tank dropping is nice to hear. I like that.
These guys have been doing it for a while. Almost everybody left here in this thing, so it's not surprising these guys are on top of that stuff. These they tend to not forget about that stuff. At least I feel like the Diamond League teams are a little better about that stuff. It's just I think it's just the experience, you know.
Tito getting his ingress on 505. Tito coming in 11,000 feet. Daxter coming in at 21,000 feet. And Snowman and Arctander are egressing. I'd like to see Arctander climb, but the F-15s for RVE are climbing very, very well on their egress, which is going to give them a massive advantage on the engagements when they come in against this guy. 405 coming in at 4,000 feet. launching a 120B out on Daxter. Tito comes in clean, puts 120s out on 405. You can see the energy advantage coming from the missiles. Yeah, they're probably not going to run them down. But the energy advantage that these missiles have when you launch from altitude is significant. Significant. 120B coming from Tito onto 505. That is going to have potential. 505 breaks away, but that missile is going to have a decent amount of energy. It's going to come in. Where is it? It's going to come from the top. It's going to. Oh! That made my butt pucker a little bit as that 120 just sliced right across 505. In all honesty, that probably should have been a kill.
CNN now getting a lot tighter than we just saw them.
They
really
are,
bringing
but
it together.
the
This whole
altitude
thing now
is going to get them killed. The altitude,
is.
them being low, is going to get them killed.
This fight is taking place in almost a 12-mile bubble right now. It is close. It is very close. This thing could be over in 2 seconds here with how close all of these planes are getting.
Snowman coming in against 405. 405 against 6,000 feet. Snowman at 20,000 feet. And that missile energy advantage of this launch, you can see it. You can see it right now.
Look.
The energy that that missile has from launch from high altitude in comparison to low is much, much better. I mean, that has potential. You can see it closing on him. It's not going to quite reach him, but you can see it. It's got the reach out and touch ability. The pokey stick it's just much better launch from the high altitude. I'd like to see them wait a bit longer and then break away a bit later, but I like that they're being patient and not overcommitting at the same time into these engagements.
And credit to CNF, a very innate ability to know when to back off that missile, when to turn away from that thing. They have seemingly been there at every turn today, just playing the numbers game and getting it right every time.
Daxter, I think, sees 405, and he's in a really good killing position. Where is it? Where's 405 is in deep, deep trouble. 405 is in deep, deep trouble. He is in deep, deep trouble. Lost a lot of speed, diving away. That missile launch from high altitude. I don't know that he gets away from this 120. Where is it? I can see it.
He's just going to outrun that thing.
He just outran it. And the little maneuvers that he's doing bled the missile out of just enough energy for him to be able to get away from it. Yeah, call me 64 Pokey Stick is my new name.
He jinked to the north and then quickly jinked back to the south.
Arctander. Oh, they don't see each other. Arctander, I think, sees him. Put that AIM-9 out. There's the AIM-9. Here we go. Flare. Oh, Arctander. No, he doesn't. I thought he got away from it, but I'll take a trade.
Oof. And this
the flares
thing
were a
gets
little bit
thinned out
late.
a bit more.
So we're down to a 3v3. Tito coming in. Tito at 5,000 feet, 801 and 505 low as well. Tito coming in here by himself. 120 from Tito. Immediately defends ER from 801. That 120's got 801. It has 801's name written all over it.
Ooh, and that was a trade. The AIM-9 takes out.
So the ER took down Tito.
Yep. Well, there's two.
Took down Tito.
CNF lost 405 as well there.
Yep, so we're down to a 2v2. Snowman and Daxter and F-15s for 505 and 307. The NATO versus Red Block. F-15 versus Flanker. Let's crank this up.
Here we go.
Here we go. 73 coming in on Snowman. Does he see it? Is it going to be a sneaky 73? There go a couple. One flare. I don't think it's going to have the energy to be able to run with him. No.
And
Snowman, you got to keep the press.
He's pushing.
You got to keep the press. Keep the press.
Is he choosing 307? No, he's going
breaking
out.
away.
That's not
but I
good.
think he may be doing the back drag. Snowman is breaking away, but Daxter is in hot. So Snowman is 6 nautical miles away from 307. If Daxter comes in, Daxter is high. 33,000 feet.
307 doesn't want any part of it. He's turning away, dragging towards 505, who hopefully gets his nose back to committing here, because if he doesn't, Daxter is going to keep pushing. He's going to have in front of him showing the rear, and the quicker Snowman gets turned around and recommitted here, the better off RVE is going to be, because he's currently pushing both of them, but the separation is there. Both now into some of the looks. Question is, yep, Daxter going after 505 to the north. Nope, Daxter now breaks away. It looks like
I think they're going to commit together.
Yep.
The Snowman recommits. Daxter, I would assume, is going to recommit with Snowman and do a two-ship recommittal here. I'd like to see a long Fox 3 from Snowman, a long 120 shot on the 505 to keep him defensive. Or on whoever turns cold. Daxter, you got to turn hot. You got to turn hot. You got to turn hot.
Daxter has almost all of this miss.
Oh!
Daxter has
Oh, no!
4.
307 crashed.
No!
Did he run out of fuel?
He might have. I
no.
wasn't tracking the speed. But Daxter's got 6 to 7 missiles, if not 8 missiles left. I mean, he has really done a good job of holding on to something. Almost too good here, because he's got way more than he needs at the moment. And Snowman now committing in, or 505 committing in on Snowman. Daxter backing him up here. This doesn't look good for CNF. RVE with a stunning turnaround on this whole thing.
Is ridiculous. 2,000 feet for 505. Snowman passing 20,000 feet. Daxter's at 27,000 feet and climbing. So if they go radar off and tally 505, they're just going to be able to run down at this altitude.
I mean, Snowman, I believe, just put out his last 120. He's got nothing but 9s left. But Daxter's coming in with a missile truck behind him. So 505, tough spot here. I mean, I see what they're doing. Let Snowman chase him down and see what you can't do, because I'm going to assume Daxter may be the low fuel guy here. Not sure there, just a guesstimate, but they're letting Snowman see if he can't get him in, because he's going to be able to get him with quite a bit if Snowman can't pull this off here. But 505 certainly, let's see what he's got for weapons, and it is not pretty there. It looks like 1 Fox 1, 1 Fox 2 on board.
We can see the marks coming back there for the RVE side, and 505's got to be running out of fuel. He's not in gate. He's just sauntering, and it's just not going to happen. Well, Fat Blaster, I think what was happening is they were just trying to keep him cold. They may have seen him trying to recommit, or thought he was going to recommit, put the 120 out, and it does just keep pressure on him. And because you're going to get that missile warning, and you're making him use fuel, and it's just, you're forcing him to do things and to deal with the missile and to convolute his SA picture. He may be thinking about recommitting, maybe. 605 knots indicated coming from 505. Snowman is not nearly as fast. The RVE guys aren't nearly as fast. I think they're just sauntering, because they know that 505 has to do something coming into this engagement. 505 is the guy that has to make something happen.
I'd love to know what the fuel states of RVE is right now, because it certainly seems like there's a little bit of mitigation going there. They're not necessarily pushing him. Snowman's certainly really running the engines right now, and Daxter actually not far behind him speed-wise. They're both just over 500 knots ground speed. RVE Snowman closer to 600 knots. We're gonna hit the top of the bubble. He's probably got another. CNF though, I believe they're out of Krasnodar.
Yes.
Yeah. This is a smart
F-15,
move for him if he can.
Yeah, maybe, but you got to remember the F-15 can glide for like 100 kilometers.
However, if he can sit here and run those two to exhaustion to the point where they're not going to make it back, even though he's not going to make it, he's not going to shoot them down. That's in his best interest to make sure those two don't make it back to the base here. So if I'm 505 with the limited weapon set I have right here, I'm going to get as close to home as possible and work these guys as hard as I can, because that's my only shot really here at pulling this off. He's not close enough to any terrain to be able to lose them on the set, to be able to disappear on the sensors. So they're gonna keep watching him. I really think it's his best move here is to try to drain these two out, and it's tough. I think RVE is in a difficult position here because they have to keep chasing, they have to keep pressuring, but they also have to make it home, and now that is going to be very challenging to do depending on fuel loads here. This was a long match. I think
It is. Now, that some of you guys are asking about the circle size. The circle ends right at the lake.
Yep, right at the lake.
Right at the lake. So it's right here. We have still 37 nautical miles to go till we reach the edge of the circle. But, well, I thought Snowman was catching him. I think Snowman is catching him.
Snowman, though, unfortunately, I don't believe has any 120s left. So the range he's going to need to close within to get a shot off is going to be substantially greater than it normally would had he have some 120s left, which he is certainly.
Not catching him.
He's 10 miles here.
505 is going to have to recommit. He has to recommit. And if Daxter stays where he is at 35,000 feet, I just don't see it being a problem for them to make it home. They're going to have to fly like 50 miles, and then they can glide and land at Cody.
Yeah, interesting. Does 505 break for the south or break for the north here? I would break for the south because you got a little bit of terrain down there.
Well, and you got a little more room with the circle.
It's true.
Their engine RPM settings, Snowman's at 92%, Daxter's at 95, and 505's at 95. So 2v1, this is a winner-takes-all match, guys. So if RVE wins, they will win 2-1. If CNF wins, they will win 2-1.
I don't know where the fuel. This is where I was curious what the fuel states for RVE was, because I think it was Elder said Dax should go back. RVE Snowman should have went back initially because he just doesn't have the weapon set to pursue. So I would have sent Snowman back and then let Daxter push here because he's got more weapons and he knows what to do with to try to take one plane out. But I think they were in a pretty rough position to just you chance just really not having any Snowman was too close, I think, at that point to try to break away, but I still think sending him back may have been the smarter move there. Tough to know if Snowman has way more gas than Daxter, then that's not viable, but at the same time, Daxter can't really go because Snowman may not have the weapons to pull this off.
16 miles to the edge of the bubble. They're going to be getting the warning here in just a second. So we're getting close. This makes me hope my bubble script is working.
I think we've seen it perform pretty good in the instances, the rare instances where someone gets near it. I mean, I can only think of probably I can probably count on one hand the amount of times I've seen someone come near the bubble in SATAL.
It doesn't happen very often.
No.
So take a second and let's catch up on what has happened. Bullet made it hail. Eldor said, love these views and threw 10 bits at it. Much appreciated. Combs came in with the 6 months. Welcome back, Combs. Sharkin back for 4 months with the tier 1. Welcome back. Hope you guys are enjoying what's going on. Separation between these two is 10 nautical miles, and we are about 10 miles from the edge of the bubble. We are dangerous close. Danger close. And RVE is in the much better position for the recommit coming out of 505 if he decides to recommit and not exit the bubble. Their altitude is going to do a lot for them. If you guys aren't following with the dedicated cameras, you can do, I think it's this. And you guys can check out the dedicated cams that are in here. So it looks like 505's getting the bubble warning that he's about ready to leave it. And if you guys check out those links, you can see dedicated views from each one of the pilots coming in today's matchup, or at least for that's flying right now. We only have 3 dedicated cameras coming in here right now. But 505's having to do something, and it's allowing Snowman to recommit. 505's actually out of fuel.
Wow. So all of that chasing. Oof. No sense in any RVE guys wasting any more fuel at this point. Now the long road home.
I think they recognize he's out of fuel.
Yep. Yeah, Snowman didn't want no part of it.
I don't think they want to bleed their altitude at this point.
I don't know why Daxter hasn't turned around yet.
Snowman may have better fuel.
That's true. He's trying to turn. He's trying to get that nose back. But that sucker is headed for the deck. 115 knots in the crease.
Broke his gear, didn't put it down early enough, but he's going to explode. Boom! As there is no landing on the ground in SATAL. You got to land at your runway or kill everybody else or die. But these guys now have to RTB, so we're going to change up the music. We're going to have a little bit of a chat as these guys RTB. But I want to know what you guys' thoughts are and how that went.
That was an impressive turnaround from RVE. They came out with a plan for that third round, and it worked. They stayed in tight, and they really chose their battles well. And I think they had the one instance where cover now really pushed in there deep, but he was able to get somebody. And you know what? There's times where I think, we all, you got that shot, but there's a high probability you're going to die getting it. My guess was he knew that they're going into it, and then that was just thinning those numbers down was a pretty valuable thing in that situation. And I think that was certainly a turning point for RVE there. And they were able to section off 801 or 405, I think, just shortly after that. And once they leveled the playing field there, you almost felt like it was a new day for RVE. And they really kind of put the pedal down there and started drawing the distance tighter to where CNF was kind of holding up. And then it forced CNF to kind of fall in tighter on each other. And I don't think they liked doing that. And I think you saw what happens there when you kind of force them in tight. But credit to 505 for dragging these guys across the map just now. That might have been
that was a valid tactic.
A pretty smart.
They could push it to a draw. Because if these guys don't RTB, it'll end in a draw. 1-1-1. Comey says, I'm still petitioning for judges ruling on RTBs. Well, the judges ruling on this as an RTB is necessary because I don't know that these guys are going to be able to make it back.
I don't disagree with Comey to some extent. I think we've seen times where one team will just call for the RTB with pretty well knowledge that it's not necessary, And I think at the end of the day, there is, it's a pretty we do a pretty good job of the times where we're like, this is clearly an RTB situation versus the times when it's not. But then again, that's a dicey thing at the end of the day. So. It's difficult to put it to a judge's perspective there. If we had a way to know what everyone's fuel state was, that I think we could almost just look at that and cut that off at a certain number or something like that. We unfortunately don't have that ability, so it makes that a little bit more difficult to kind of do. But who knows what the future holds and that type of stuff. So
Comey, we were so Jabbers at the beginning of the year did an overlay, and there was some issues with the Tomcat with the overlay. I'm hoping next year we're going to run the overlay and we will all know their fuel states. There's ways to do it, but we just haven't done it yet. Is the thing with it. Wild Boy says losing 6-0 calling RTB is bullshit. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, it is. But team tactics and stuff.
Yeah.
If you need time, you think to reorganize and talk about things, it kind of makes sense. Right?
No, then that's true. I'll totally agree with that. That's actually a very valid point there. Forcing that and buying yourself some time to sit down and talk with your team and figure that out. Certainly an angle of this whole thing that's worth mentioning.
What a match! What a comeback!
That was amazing. It really was impressive. That was fireworks from moment one till moment end there for the most part. I know that the last kind of dragged out there, but still impressive thinking on both sides there to play that out the way it did. Now let's see, we're looking at still right about 100 miles here for Snowman. About 107 where they are right now. And these guys are pros. They've done it before. So you got Daxter up at 49,000 feet right now. And you have Snowman right at the 40 mark.
I think they're going to be fine. Snowman's still at 93% engine RPM. I think he's going to be able to make it back with no issues.
Yeah, from what I've noticed, the teams that have been playing, that have the more experience, that have been playing longer, are very good with managing fuel, and specifically in SATAL, because they know exactly what is going on and where you sometimes have to go and what you may have to do. So I've noticed specifically with a lot of these Diamond League teams, they have a very good understanding of, now, does that always happen? No. But for the most part, teams like RVE are pretty good with their fuel management mid-fight for reasons just like this, you know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they knew, they climbed. You saw that Snowman didn't want to descend. They recognized that he was out of fuel and slowing down. Didn't want to descend, broke off, stayed high, and just stayed up there for the better fuel economy. Because he knew if he was going to descend, he was going to lose the fuel economy. He was going to lose the energy and the fuel that he was going to need to get back up into altitude. Man, that was...
Crazy,
That was nuts.
great point from Comey. RVE won that round with Daxter not having to do much. I mean, go look at Daxter's weapons.
Daxter
on his
did
plane.
nothing.
I mean,
Did
barely.
nothing.
If he fired one missile, that would have been a lot in that one. Looking at his loadout, he just didn't shoot a whole lot, and that's amazing considering the situation, the implications of them losing all that stuff. And maybe he sat back and did more of a sorting role on that whole thing and kind of called the shots. You never know. That certainly is a possibility there, and that could have played just as an effective role doing that as he could shooting those missiles with how good of a pilot we know he is. So impressive all the way around from both teams there.
Yeah. And Eldor brings up a good point. We talked about the altitude advantage during the fight for missile energy was a big deal. But the altitude advantage also for fuel economy during that fight was a big deal. They didn't have to descend. Yep. Thicker air, your engines are going to burn more fuel. Higher altitude, they're burning less. And that very well could have been a big factor in what is allowing RVE to head home. And throughout much of that match, I was checking their altitudes, and they were above 20,000 feet. Every time they were egressing, they were climbing. Every time. And we talk about this every week. In DCS, that's a big deal. Because when you're high, your missiles are better, and the ground clutter isn't really modeled for radar, so it's not a big deal to look down, shoot down. So you don't have a problem doing that. In real life, you probably want to be below them and shooting up. But in this, high works great. And with 120Bs, we saw the energy advantage that they had coming in there. I don't know what happened to 405 or 307. Whoever else, the other guy that was flying, I think he ran out of fuel and crashed. So kudos to RVE, Snowman and Daxter for playing the fuel management game, not getting overzealous and trying to run these guys down and just playing the game safe, getting to high altitude, just cruising. Big kudos to them for making that happen. And it may very well amount to them coming out on top and taking the match win.
Exactly, and even the playoff spot too. As I said, the statistical output of all this was very interesting today. When you look at kill-death ratio and some of the other statistics that stuff all kind of falls in line with. I think we're setting up for an even more dicey, end of the year with who is going to end up being in that sixth spot. So, I think we see RVE take it, but with almost more of a kill-death ratio to hit because of that first round where I think CNF sent home five or six at least.
Yeah, but they're gonna gain that back in the second round.
That's true. Well, in the second round, what did we have? I think we only had 1 or 2 planes survive.
Well, yeah, but it was a match. It was a round.
Oh, that's right.
I'm not going to count that for how it went. I was just letting it play out.
That's right. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Also a big factor, though. That's also another crazy thing to throw into this whole thing. That whole second round in general and how that kind of factored into it. And point to note for people out there wanting to do competitive DCS play, how important that stuff is. You look at that one little mistake, someone not paying attention to their loadout, and now CNF possibly not making the playoffs. Yeah. If somebody picks up that error and that second round goes the way it does, we were done a half hour, 45 minutes ago, and CNF has that victory. So important stuff here all around to make sure the details, if you will, and how much that stuff can end up hurting or helping you at the end of the day.
Viper 9, we are going to watch the Viper Squadron versus War Dogs match here after the completion of this match. I'm going to replay the tracks. I got to go grab it and get the stuff set up, but we are going to be watching that after the completion of the RVE Chinese Festival match. So that'll be coming up next. We're just waiting for these guys to RTB, and get home. And Daxter's actually engaged.
Yeah, they're looking pretty good at this
This
point.
is going to be a problem.
Daxter passed Snowman a while ago. When I saw that, I was like, yeah. I'm gonna go ahead
I
and
don't
say
see
they
this
probably
being a
got this
problem.
locked.
How high is he?
I mean, how much fuel could
54,000
Daxter have used if he didn't engage? Let's make that.
Yeah,
point.
but he's
Like,
at 54,000 feet.
yeah, that's fine. He's
There's
actually
no-
pretty close to the
no
airport for
problem
being
with
at
that.
50,000 feet. He's gonna need one heck of a brake turn.
Southern Jumper dropping the 1,000 bits says, morning, gents.
Hey!
Morning. You got any projections for the War Dogs Viper match coming up, Southern Jumper? I need your philosophical insight. You're the man with the knowledge and the predictions. Lay it on me. Let me know what you think. War Dogs are ranked above Viper Squadron. Viper Squadron, I don't think's won this year. I think Daxter's got this in the bag coming back.
I mean, yeah. He could have been on the fuel 10 minutes ago at this altitude and this angle. He's
engine
got
idle,
everything.
just diving. I think
I mean,
he's gonna go straight in.
Well, my question is, how is he going to slow this thing down in time? He's got right around 20 miles to bleed off.
serpentine.
Yeah, probably. I mean, he may just go around for a brake turn at this point.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, if he lands, RVE takes this match 2-1. So Chinese Festival won round 1. RVE won round 2 due to 120Cs being used. And then RVE is winning currently round 3. If they land, they solidify it. But if they do land and Daxter's able to put it down on the ground, they will win today's matchup, RVE versus Chinese Festival 2-1. If neither of these guys land, it'll go down as a tie, 1-1-1.
I would find it hard pressed to think Daxter's not about to touch this sucker right down there. One heck of a match. I'll tell you what, we've had some good ones these past few weeks. It's really starting to heat up as we get closer to the...
The first couple rounds weren't all that exciting, but that one got really exciting.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Eldor, as long as you attempt to land at the airfield and don't die, it counts as you returning. If you blow up, no. But if you rip a wing off and your pilot lives, no, it still counts. You still win. No, they just have to land safely, Eldor. They have to land safely. Or live. You can land without gear. We've seen people land damaged. That's happened. Yeah, he's going to be fine on the airspeed. 330 knots. He's got to be rough on the fuel, though, if he's not putting his gear down yet. Guess we're just shooting the gun for show, making somebody down there in the neighborhood's day a little bit worse. There's the gear. Serpentining a little bit. To bleed that excess airspeed. 180 knots now. Yeah, he's going to be fine. Even if his engines went out, he'd put this down, no problem. And there it is. So RVE takes this one 2-1. Massive kudos to them. Well fought. Way to stick with it. Man, I had no idea how that one was going to go. I know I called RVE at the very beginning, but I called it on a Daxter performance, and Daxter did next to nothing in that whole matchup. So guys, what's going to happen? I'm going to send you guys to another ad block. I'm going to put up a fan video. I'm going to go get something to drink and something to munch on for a minute. And when we come back, we are going to be Viper Squadron versus War Dogs coming at you. Gold League action. I think it should be a good one. So stick around. More SATAL action coming at you in just a minute.
sleep now under my skin. They show him trying to conjure them, and he's mine. Somebody go up to your brother, he's calling out your name. Oh, hiding under the covers with no one else to blame. Oh, you couldn't help out your own neighbor, you couldn't tell it to his face. You were fucked up by the blade. You carry the code, can't fight it before them. He's calling out your name. Oh, hiding under the covers with no one else to blame. Oh, you couldn't help out your own neighbor, you couldn't tell it to his face. You were fucked up by the blade.